Start winning at the races with Daily Racing Form's new mobile pass performances, featuring exclusive buyer speed figures and expert analysis and selections. Go to drf.com/best and get the power of DRF in the palm of your hand. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, kicking off the Bluegrass Saturday graded stakes portion of the card with race number 4, the Grade 2 Appalachian. Let's take a look at this field. 3-year-old fillies going a mile on the turf. A field of 6, but a pretty competitive field, Mike. Alms at 6-5 is the number 4. She is your morning line favorite, and she's coming out of a good race facing the extremely talented Sharing in the Teppan.
Yeah, she is. A little class relief for her here. We'll see if she can bounce back a little bit. That wasn't her best performance in the Teppan last time, but she had run better than that in her prior 2 starts going this distance.
As we would expect in a short field, there is not a lot of pace signed on. We throw up the Timeform US pace projector. The 3 Evil-Lyn expected to make the lead. Evil-Lyn did go gate to wire around 2 turns in her turf debut at the fairgrounds. I would think Tyler Gaffalione is going to be very aggressive, unless this European invader, the number 1 Maria Foot, shows speed.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with the horse on the rail. I did sort of feel like Evil-Lyn would probably make the front here just based on her prior 3 turf efforts.
Let's talk about Maria Foot, North American debut, Lasix on. This is a filly that's been campaigning in France, but has been doing the bulk of her work on a synthetic surface. She won a stakes race over the all-weather last time out. It was not the strongest field she beat. The runner-up came back to run 3rd in another listed race on Poly Track. This is a strong test for Maria Foot as she runs off of a layoff in North America on turf.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how good any of those races were over there. I mean, her form, when you watch the races, they're fine. I thought her turf start in her debut was actually okay. I just don't know how good those races are, Dan. And this is not, it's not a big field, so I don't want to say she's in, a super tough spot there, but there are some good fillies in here.
There are some things to like about the number 2, Enola Gay, Mike. She won her career debut for Shug McGahee going a testing 6.5 furlongs, and then she might have found the 3/4 a little sharp in the Stewart Manor. That was a very live race that has produced 4 next out winners. And if you're into pedigree, this filly should get the mile and even longer. By Uncle Mo, the Dam, a grade 3 stakes winner going 1.5 miles. Enola Gay should get the trip, and I don't see why she can't be forwardly placed.
Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. I think she's really interested in here, at least of the horses who are, sort of bigger prices on the morning line. We'll see where she ultimately settles. I really liked her debut. I know she got a perfect trip when she won that race, but I liked the way she did it. Her Stewart Manor wasn't great. That was a fast pace. Closer sort of dominated, and she never got involved. But I just don't want to be too hard on her for it, Dan. I think there's a lot of upside with this horse.
Evil-Lyn, the number 3, 6-1 on the morning line, as you see on the pace projector, might have a pace advantage. That's one positive. The second positive is she's never lost on the turf. 3 for 3 on the surface, and perhaps the biggest positive, Michael Maker claimed her. And we have seen on many, many occasions Maker claim turf horses and turn them into graded stakes winners.
I mean, yeah, we've seen that a lot. We'll see what happens with this horse. It's worth noting, at least, that he claimed this horse off of Brad Cox. Brad Cox wins tons of races. So we'll see how much upside this filly actually has. But listen, I have no knocks on her 3 turf races. She's won all of them. She looked pretty good winning all of them.
Alms won the first 4 starts of her career, then tasted defeat for the first time as the favorite in the Teppan. Sharing is very, very good. She won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf last year. She emerged from the Teppan with a very good performance in Royal Ascot. The 4th place finisher of the Teppan came back to run 3rd in the Grade 3 Regret with a 92 buyer speed figure. You're right, it was not Alms's best race in the Teppan. Kind of in between horses, held up just a little bit, but once she got clear, she was a bit flat.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I mean, she didn't, I don't want to say she had a perfect trip, but, overall it kind of worked out for her. She just didn't, for whatever reason, just didn't have a real strong kick in the stretch of that race and got outfinished. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. And, certainly based on her prior performances, it wasn't great because she had looked pretty good, Dan. I thought the first 2 times when they stretched her out, especially, I thought she ran well in those races. So, I mean, I suspect she'll bounce back here. I think they found a really good spot for her to do that.
Passion Factor might be the longest shot on the board, and she looked pretty good winning her last race. It was her turf debut in a maiden special at Gulfstream. We're going to take a look at that race right now. She was dismissed at 7-1, trying turf for the first time, but I thought all in all, she gave a nice performance. She got up close to the pace. She finished it off with a 78 buyer. We see her on the outside, and she is really motoring.
Yeah, I thought she ran well in this race. Overall, I thought she got a perfect trip in here, but the runner-up in that race did get through on the rail, and she had to sort of run her down at the end, which she managed to do. It was, if nothing else, it was a step in the right direction. We'll see if she can improve one more time here.
I wonder if Walk in Marrakesh is going to be aggressively ridden by Jose Ortiz. This horse went to the front, if you recall, in the Natalma Grade 1 race in her North American debut, battled with another horse. It was a very game performance for her, only to lose by a nose. Another tough beat in the Florida Oaks. Last time out, Mike, in the Tep, and she kind of just got stuck inside and nothing worked out for her.
Yeah, they did. They rated her in the pocket there. I thought, at the beginning of the race, it was at a really good spot. She was looking to drive through on the rail in the upper stretch. And I just felt like maybe she didn't have enough to get in there, Dan, but maybe she had an excuse as well. I certainly felt like two back she had an excuse. That was not a trip that I cared for in there. I'll admit that I'm starting to get a little tired of making excuses for this horse. But listen, overall, her form is solid, and she looks like a nice fit in this race.
Competitive figures, short field, good tactical speed. She could be a very strong contender in this spot. Let's take a look at our top selections for the Appalachian race number 4 at Keeneland. We're both hoping that Alms can rebound, albeit at a short price. I'm going to try to get Evil-Lyn into the number. Maybe she could steal away to an early lead and slow down the fractions. You're going to try to get the stretch out, the well-bred Enola Gay in behind Alms.
Yeah, she was my other horse in this race, and we'll just see how they bet it. I'm not way against Elms. I'll try to split the two favorites, though, with Enola Gay, who I just think is really interesting in here.
4-2-6-1 for Mike, 4-3-6-5 for me. The Grade 2 Appalachians race number 4 at Keeneland on Saturday, and it has an approximate post of 2:45 Eastern. Good luck.